Let's get to what continues to be really kind of the topic of the day. It's Klay Thompson is a first ballot Hall of Famer. What an amazing career he's had. And the career's not over because he signed with the Dallas Mavericks. But this is a hard one, right? He's a splash brother. How do you separate brothers? That's exactly what the Warriors did. The Warriors, they basically did on a different scale and a different time what the St. Louis Cardinals did with Albert Pujols when he left for the Angels, which was they made him an offer, and even though the Marlins blew everybody out of the water with their offer, and then the Angels did as well, they stuck to that offer knowing that they wanted to say, hey, we offered him a substantial contract. A substantial. I think it was a 6-year deal. It was like the same deal before the season as it was after the season. They tacked on 3 years. There were option years, but they knew about the lifespan on him. That contract would have been perfect. But they knew Albert Pujols would take a different contract. The big, maybe not the biggest, but a bigger number, one that started with a 3. So they did just enough so that they can say, hey, it's not like we didn't want him back. We just didn't want him back at that ridiculous price. And they were right because of it. Well, the Warriors, I don't think they'll win a World Series or NBA Finals without him. But it was, we made an offer to Klay. He's just going to go get a bigger offer. And, oh, yeah, by the way, they made a trade. So it's really a sign and trade in order to allow him ability to make a little bit more money. And, oh, yeah, by the way, it hurt them a little bit less. And now they're out of the luxury tax threshold. But those decisions aren't easy. For an all-time great player who's won you all those championships, who's fought through injury, who's battled back, been a two-way player, sacrificed some in the spotlight for Steph Curry, put up with some of the Draymond stuff. Like that, those things are not easy to part company with a guy who's meant that much to you. But maybe the bigger story is what he didn't choose. What he didn't choose. I mean, you even hear the reverence. And look, Dan Hurley could have been the Lakers' new head coach. But the Lakers, they got to do things the Lakers' way. Like, did they offer him more money than they've ever paid a head coach? Yes. But if you look back on that timeline of that week, right, to start the week, it was Dan Hurley is now a candidate, and they want to bring him in. And then there was a leak of he's expected to get offered a deal of $100 million, and then the deal comes in at $70 million. And the Lakers wanted to help pick his staff. So Dan Hurley, who got on a plane with his wife, thought about leaving everything he could behind, and an amazing back-to-back national championship program for the Lakers, because it's the Lakers, and he, of course, him and his agent put it out there. He won $100 million. They end up $30 million short. Oh, and now he's short on money, and you want to pick my staff? Yeah, I'm going to pass. So I don't know if that's what it's about or kind of this circus that's been created based upon the Bronny James draft pick. There's nothing wrong with signing Bronny James. Nothing wrong. Nothing wrong with him being in the G League. I mean, look, if you think this hasn't happened before, did you know Dwayne Wade bought the G League team in Salt Lake City? And did you know that his son played for that G League team? He didn't play in college, played in the G League, and they got pummeled, and I think he stepped away from basketball. Like that's part of the story here is like I think Summer League could be rough on Bronny James. I just do. Like, remember, Wemby last year just got off the plane, and game 1, it was rough. Game 2 was like, okay, he figured it out. But Bronny's not Wemby. Bronny's just a nice, good, solid player who's played a little bit of college basketball. Like, whew. I mean, all those games are televised, and he signed a multi-year contract with the Lakers as a second-round pick. Okay. The point is that you're Klay Thompson, and you sit there and go like, I could go to L.A., where I've always dreamed of playing. It's the Lakers. My dad played for the Lakers. What better way to finish my career than to play with LeBron James and Anthony Davis and just shoot threes and play defense, give ourselves a chance to win another NBA championship. My dad's calling the games. I could live in Orange County where I live in the offseason. Like, this thing is a wrap. And instead, you go to Dallas. Yeah, because Dallas wants to do one thing. They want to win an NBA championship. Right? Their process is, how do we get from getting to an NBA Finals and being kind of a surprising team to now how do we win a championship? It's not about state income tax. Stop it. Stop it. Like, anyone who says the state income tax thing, just look up what the property taxes are and how it's affected in Texas. It's actually very, very difficult for many people. I have friends that moved to Austin, and with every year they get a bigger tax bill. And it's super high, right? Yeah, they don't get you with the state income tax. And there's ways in which you can duck and dive and do some stuff and rent a place if you want. I got it. The point is that the government's going to get theirs regardless of whether you're in California or Timbuktu. And oh yeah, by the way, if you've made $150 million and you have a place that can see the water, there's no way you can tell me, try and talk me into the idea that living in Dallas or saving you money is something. There's a reason it costs more money, because it's worth it. But it's damning towards the Lakers. Here's Mark Stein, who joined us earlier in the show, talking about why Klay picked the Mavs over the Lakers.
I think it's important to Klay Thompson after the last couple seasons. He wants to show everyone that he can still be a key contributor to a good team. And I think the Mavs sold him on there's a huge role for him in Dallas, playing off of Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving, and I just think that's really what swayed him. The Mavs have had just a dreadful free agent history. They never get the guy in free agency. So to be able to win a face-off with the Lakers to get a commitment from Klay Thompson, you can imagine how happy people are in Dallas right now, how happy Mavs fans are.
Oh, no question. It's not just that they got Klay Thompson. They got Klay Thompson when all signs said, hey, you should be going to the Lakers, and he goes to the Mavericks. Here's Mark, talking about where the Lakers go from here.
Their options are so limited, and they've also got a clock ticking because LeBron James, Team USA camp is starting just in a few days this weekend, and LeBron's going to want to have his deal done by then. He's not going to want to practice with Team USA and start getting ready for the Olympics without a signed contract. There's been all the talk about LeBron's willingness to take a pay cut, but that was only if they were getting a James Harden, a Klay Thompson. Now, I think DeMar DeRozan still lands in that group, and DeMar DeRozan is still out there. But I think there is a question of how DeMar would fit. Is DeMar really willing to take, he would have to take a significant pay cut from where he is, where he's been with the Bulls for the last few seasons. But look, DeMar DeRozan is also a Southern Californian. The options for him appear to be somewhat limited in free agency. Would he be willing to join the Lakers for a lot less than he's been making with the Bulls? I'm not so sure on that.
Yeah, I mean, now we're working our way back to DeMar DeRozan, which is interesting because DeMar DeRozan was the guy that Rob Pelinka and Buddy Hield were the guys that Rob Pelinka wanted to bring in a couple years ago when LeBron said, no, we're going to go get Russell Westbrook, and that didn't work. And it makes sense for Klay Thompson to sit there and go like, okay, well, Russell Westbrook, he didn't enjoy his experience. Like, you got the Bronny thing. That's weird. That's super, super weird. Like LeBron doesn't play much defense anymore, but does demand the basketball. And then it's like Anthony Davis's team. And yeah, I could shoot, but I'm just going to go to a place where it's just about winning. It's just about winning. I can still extract a little bit of revenge on the Lakers and a little bit of revenge on the Golden State Warriors, and I'm surrounded by a really good team that I fit with. But I don't think we can undersell the magnitude of that type of decision to shun the Lakers. And we've seen it before, right? We saw Paul George and Kawhi Leonard, and they went to the Clippers. At least they stayed in Los Angeles being Southern California guys. But for Klay, again, grew up in Southern California. Dad played for the Lakers. Dad covers the Lakers. Who didn't dream of playing with the Kobe teams or the Shaq and Kobe teams and whatever? To say, go to Dallas. If that's not a sign of the perception being a negative one in the league, I don't really know what else is. Because one would think, you're like, wait, I can play with LeBron, and he loves guys that play defense and shoot threes, and I could be a Laker, and they offered more money. They offered more money than Dallas offered. It was not a financial decision. This was he did not want to play with that group. He did not want to play with that group.